The Sage of Six Paths Hagoromo could soon make a return in the story for some interesting reasons. The way Boruto knew about the horrors of Ten Tails hint at the entity enlightening him with his knowledge. So could it be that the one who has divided the first 10 tails will save the world from the second one too? Let's find out. Boruto's knowledge about the 10 tails, whom he never encountered in part 1, has left everyone scratching their heads. There have been theories of him having the power to look into the future or going back to the past to gain intel. However, the possibility that no one is talking about is him having connections to the Sage of Six Paths, who has divided the last 10 tails into 9 biju. So how would it make sense for Hagoromo to return and narrate the tale of 10 tails to Boruto? Let's climb the hierarchy of spectacles, covering all the hints which link both of them. First of all, Boruto could have naturally inherited some Sage of Six Paths chakra from Naruto, which would create a small medium between him and Hagoromo. Naruto and Sasuke were able to talk to him because they are the reincarnations of his sons, and Boruto possessing the same chakra might lead him to talking to him as well. However, there is something even more complex related to the Otsutsuki dynamics, which would explain how Boruto and Hagoromo's meetup is predestined. So let's understand how it might have something to do with the Child of Prophecy plot point from Naruto. The appearance of clock rhymes and a statement of Hagoromo from the past, which was earlier believed to be about Naruto, also perfectly implies to Boruto as well. The Toad Sage had predicted a student of Jiraiya would bring a great revolution to the shinobi world, and that person was conceived as the Child of Prophecy. The prophecy further stated Jiraiya's actions would determine if this revolution would end up as a destruction or salvation for the world. Nagato, Minato and Naruto were the students whom Jiraiya assumed as the Child of Prophecy, while Nagato and Minato couldn't fulfill this prophecy due to different reasons. At the end of Shippuden, Naruto was renowned as the Child of Prophecy by Kurama, and all the other tail beasts agreed to this. The final words of Hagoromo that Kurama remembered talked about an individual who would reunite the tail beasts and put them on the right path. However, when we take this prophecy and see it in the context of Boruto, the same can be implied for him as well. The 10 tails has been yet again divided into different tail beasts, and the job of Boruto could be to reunite them. It could be that the prophecy referred to the different saviors who would deal with the 10 tails in order to save the world. Now this is where things get a lot interesting. The concept of destiny has a lot of significance to the overall plot of Boruto. The Omnipotence made it clear that Boruto's fate was always meant to be overturned. However, some pesky predictions about him losing hope didn't come true. Momoshiki perfectly predicted the Blue Eyes taking everything away from Boruto, but the interesting part lies within his second prophecy, where he said Boruto will suffer so much that he will wish to die, and that shall be the time when the Otsutsuki will take him over forever. Here Momoshiki emphasized becoming Boruto and ruling his life afterwards, but something completely unpredictable happened when Boruto chose not to lose hope and carried on the will of fire. This means prophecies are not bound to come true and can sometimes take completely unpredictable turns. Like in case of Amado, he wanted to revive his daughter Akebi, but the mortal restrictions always came in his way. It's very likely that even if he ends up reviving the real Akebi somehow, she would succumb to her predestined fate, no matter how many times she is revived. The only way to change one's destiny is with the power of Omnipotence, which is unknown to Amado. In case of Boruto, there is a good amount of chance for him to be the Child of Prophecy, only because we have seen him going against his own fate when he showed his mental resolve and stopped Momoshiki from taking over. This means the true salvation or destruction can only be attained by the hands of Boruto, and Naruto being renowned as the Child of Prophecy was only a misinterpretation of the events surrounding him. The similarities of the father-son duo and their connection with Jiraiya also hint at the same. The theory takes a more interesting turn from here, so make sure to subscribe if you are enjoying. Kashin Koji being the clone of Jiraiya and the theories of him training Boruto in the time skip are already pretty popular. The recent reveal of Boruto's Uzuhiko Rasengan also connected him to Kashin Koji cause he wields the Rasengan as well. However, the one point which connects both of them was mentioned by Ishiki during his fight with Koji. I'm talking about the concept of predestined genes. Ishiki was certain Koji would dwell the same fate as Jiraiya. However, if he had died during the Kawaki arc, it would have contradicted this prophecy. Kashin Koji being the clone of Jiraiya could determine the fate of the shinobi world with his actions. He shall be responsible for the destruction or salvation of the shinobi world, and his student would be the actual Child of Prophecy. So now that we know there is gonna be a vital role of Koji in the life of Boruto, how would all of it take us to the fight from the prologue scene? This brings us back to the statement of the Toad Sage regarding the Child of Prophecy. He had mentioned Jiraiya being responsible for either the destruction or salvation of the world, and by looking at the prologue scene, it can be concluded that Koji had a hand in whatever has happened with Konoha. He must have followed the legacy of Jiraiya Jiraiya, and even fulfilled the prophecy of the Toad Sage, but in a very pessimistic manner. This yet again highlights the contrast in the fates of Naruto and Boruto. While Naruto went from rags to riches, Boruto went from privileges to pathos. Hatred and betrayal followed him everywhere, but he still remained vigilant on his way of shinobi. The destiny of Otsutsuki's must be different than those of humans. Boruto's Otsutsuki evolution must have also changed his fate for the worse, and there is still a long way ahead before he gets back to his normal fruitful life. Now the part of Boruto's fate that shall link him to Hagoromo has something to do with a recurring concept in this series. I have talked about the Toad Sage converting Shinjutsu into Senjutsu before. However, the medium that shall connect Boruto with Hagoromo is a bit more complicated than that, so hear me out. The natural energy that's required to get into Sage mode seems to be the first form of chakra that was absorbed by living beings, in this case the Otsutsukis. When a divine fruit is harvested on a planet after all the necessary rituals, the natural energy of that planet gets depleted. This means this natural energy, which is necessary for Sage transformation, might be older than the Otsutsuki clan itself. We know that pure Otsutsukis cannot utilize Senjutsu. However, half Otsutsukis like Hagoromo were not restricted from doing so. Momoshiki, being a part of Boruto's body, also transmutates his genetics and battle experience in him. This means all the natural energy that he must have devoured over the millennium now lies within Boruto. The fact that natural energy is present on every planet and was even utilized by the Sage of Six Paths himself increased the chances of Boruto meeting him in a dimension similar to the one where he talked with Momoshiki. Normally, Boruto wouldn't have access to any natural energy until and unless he would have mastered the Sage mode. However, the fusion with Momoshiki has completely turned the tables for him. He doesn't need to learn Senjutsu to get in touch with the spirit of Hagoromo. He already has the necessary mediums dwelling inside of him. Even if that won't be the case, a bizarre theory says that Boruto might feed Kawaki to the Ten Tails and eat the chakra fruit for himself. In this way, he will not only consume the divine fruit, but also fulfill the prophecy of uniting the tailed beasts. Upon eating the divine fruit of earth, Boruto would automatically gain the experience and life force of all the people who died on the planet. Hagoromo, being one of them, increased the chances of him meeting the entity in a separate realm, where he might reveal some new intel about the Otsutsuki and the Ten Tails to him. Since Boruto needs to get a lot stronger to defeat the alien race, makes this theory a bit more sensible. However, what needs to be noted is that he already knows about the horrors of Ten Tails as of the second chapter. This means he might have met the Sage of Six Paths during the time skip period through some mysterious means. One of the possibilities is Boruto going back to the past and meeting Hagoromo there. Due to his Otsutsuki chakra, he not only inherits the life forces of many different planets, but is also the biological son of Naruto, who possesses the Sage's power. So Hagoromo meeting him in the past during the events of the Fourth Great War is not out of question. It would also strengthen the time travel theory, where Boruto is theoretically behind Boruto in Kaguya's dimension. The Sage might have asked him to witness all these events by himself, along with the destruction that the Ten Tails had brought to the world. The fact that he knows Clawgrams were modified with inorganic material could be a hint of Hagoromo revealing this to him as well. Hagoromo could have told him about the Child of Prophecy prediction and how people will misinterpret Naruto as the savior for a long period of time. The true savior is gonna be the one who will save the world from the Ten Tails apocalypse of code. It could even be that Hagoromo would ask Boruto to find the one with Jiraiya's genes in his time in order to learn the necessary things. So if Boruto has crossed paths with Kashin Koji during the time skip, it's very likely that he revealed the Ten Tails and Otsutsuki lore to him. Koji was the right hand of Amaru and must be familiar with all his schemes, including his true motives. He might be keeping an eye on Code by sending his stores to the Ten Tails dimension, which explains how he must have gained intel on the Clawgrams. After learning that these humanoids upon gaining consciousness could extend the whole human race, Boruto must have trained really hard to surpass Code and stop the worst possible future from happening. Now there are a few theories which provide a proper explanation for Boruto's knowledge of the Ten Tails, and one of them involves Hagoromo as well. Boruto's dull expressions from the recent chapters hint at him witnessing something really horrible. It could be that he has gained a power similar to Momoshiki and the Toad Sage, and he can look into the future of everyone around him. Maybe the reason he keeps his eye closed is because it lets him see the fate of other people. This is why he keeps his eye closed in the first episode as well. He doesn't want to scare himself by seeing the fate of others around him. This explains how he knows the worst future will come if Clawgrams aren't stopped. He has already foreseen the dark future that he's trying to avoid, but it seems like it's not avoidable at all. It will only get worse with the involvement of Kawaki. The next possibility involves Hagoromo and makes a lot of sense too. I think just like Ashinkoji could be the Jiraiya of Boruto, similarly Hagoromo could get replaced with Shibai in his case. The way Hagoromo appeared in front of Naruto and Sasuke, Shibai could meet Boruto in a similar way too. What makes this more plausible is Kashinkoji's name being similar to the residing place of Shiva, who might be an inspiration of Shibai. So Shibai being the Hagoromo of Boruto and Koji being his Jiraiya is also a plausible theory in my eyes. What's interesting is that Boruto has already surpassed Hagoromo in terms of power level. Firstly because he's a pure Otsutsuki, unlike the Sage of Six Paths, and secondly because he has apparently gone through a lot of training in the time skip period. He technically only required to train his Kenjutsu and Taijutsu, because when it comes to Shinjutsu, he could always rely on the battle experience of Momoshiki against his foes. Hagoromo on the other hand was just 50% Otsutsuki and did not possess the pre-existing battle experience of another entity inside him. Furthermore, Boruto is confident in his ability to kill Code, who is among the most powerful characters in the verse. Code's power level lies somewhere beneath Ishiki and about Jigen, and since Boruto has the confidence to destroy him, it's pretty clear that he has surpassed Hagoromo. Finally, there is a theory which explains how the Ten Tails could become the final villain of the franchise, which is why Kishimoto has extended its lore by introducing the Claw Grimes. What if the Ten Tails has the power to evolve into really superior beings when they come in contact with Otsutsuki chakra? This would explain how one of them awakened their Rinnegan. They are just evolving into more superior creatures. Maybe Shibai Otsutsuki had also encountered a Ten Tails creature who was way above his league. That's why he's no more right now. The Otsutsuki clan fighting the Ten Tails from all the different galaxies from centuries could become an interesting part of the lore. The only way to control this species was discovered by Hagoromo when he divided them into 9-tailed beasts, and this is why it's very much possible for him to return and help Boruto in dealing with the new Ten Tails rampage. There's even a possibility that the Senjutsu utilized by the Toads of Mount Myoboku is actually a shrinked version of a Shinjutsu. It could be that there were some other Otsutsukis who landed on the planet before Kaguya and brought natural energy with them as well. The natural energy then spread around the whole world and was utilized by the Toads before humans. Chances are this natural energy was actually some kind of Shinjutsu which got condensed into Senjutsu after Toads started using it. However, when an Otsutsuki intercoursed with a human, the Shinjutsu dwindled down to Ninjutsu with the passage of time. I have made a whole video on this topic and you can watch it here. Also, don't forget to subscribe and I will see you next time.